So as patient numbers and the economic impact of ophthalmic disease continue to climb, drugs have improved patient outcomes but have challenges. Duration of effect, invasive repeat dosing, compliance challenges, and costs. At Ripple, we see a new way of delivering drugs with controllable sustained drug delivery without polymer recipients to improve outcomes for patients, provide easier management of care for ophthalmologists, and lower costs for payers. So how are we different? Well, if you look at traditional polymer-based drug delivery systems, whether they're degradable polymer formulations or polymer encapsulation or even drug-conjugated polymers, they all have the same challenges. Large molecular weights, which leads to low drug loading and larger implants. Drug release from diffusion and bulk erosion, which provides for very little control. And multiple and often unpredictable degradation products, which provide CMC and regulatory challenges. Our approach is different. Our prodrugs have no polymers or excipients, which allows us to have low molecular weight, high drug loading, smaller implants with no acidic degradation products. And because the drug delivery is controlled through surface erosion, we can provide zero-order drug release, and it's highly tunable release and duration based on the target product profile. And because of the monomeric structure, it's very simple, scalable, and low cost. So basically what we do, there we go, conjugate an active API to a low molecular weight, non-active linker and create these prodrugs that you see here. These prodrugs then self-assemble into different three-dimensional objects, and this is 100% these prodrugs, so there's no polymer excipient. These then dissolve off the surface and quickly break down into the component parts, so the active API and the linker. And we get the zero-order drug release, and it's very tunable based on either chemistry, so changing the underlying API or linker, and physics, changing the different prodrug form or the size of the prodrug. And by definition, this is a new molecular entity, but the FDA has given us a 505(b)(2) path for both of our lead constructs. We also have composition of matter patents, again, for those two constructs, which is, I think, demonstrative of the uniqueness and the novelty of this approach. So our ophthalmology pipeline is really based on two different constructs. The first is IB-814, which is a dexamethasone prodrug targeting retinal diseases. We're in a phase 2 trial in Australia, New Zealand, and Hong Kong right now. We've treated 44 patients for DME and RVO, and I'll share a bit of that data in a moment. And our second is RTC-1119, which is a latanoprost prodrug that's targeting ocular hypertension and open-angle glaucoma. So our target product profile for IB-814 is really to address the shortfalls with current therapies for DME RVO, which includes longevity of effect, compliance, cost, and safety. So the design is a 6-month zero-order drug release from a 30-gauge needle, and because we're delivering a tenth of the drug load of the commercial dexamethasone product, we think we have an opportunity to reduce steroid-related IOP and cataract AEs. We have a full battery of preclinical data. Here you have the pharmacokinetics, which shows that nice zero-order drug release over 6 months versus a burst release with Ozurdex. The PD, which shows that we're working at 1 week, so no burst release required, and it's sustained out to 6 months, whereas Ozurdex in this model stops working at about 10 weeks. And on the right here, you see the full degradation of the implant at 9 months. Once the implant's gone, the drug is gone, and vice versa. We're excited by the fact that this is now translating into clinical data. Let me share a couple of data points with you. This first is a DME patient, as you can see, 9 years of anti-VEGF therapy, which was being managed quite well, but coming in every 6 to 8 weeks for treatment. You can see with our drug a quick drop in the edema that's maintained out to 7 to 8 months, then a retreatment, again a redrop. And this patient has good vision that's been maintained. In RVO, this is a naive patient, real nice drop in CST that's sustained out, in this case to 11 months, and a real nice increase of vision. The majority of our early cases were RVO, and so I wanted to show you the collective RVO data, where you see both the high dose and the low dose, a nice drop in CST to 3 months that's sustained out to the 6 to 8 month. If you compare to Ozurdex, we're similar at 3 months, but actually ours is better at 6 months, understanding that ours are relatively low ends. From a safety point of view, in our low dose, we're seeing none of what you typically see with intravitreal steroids in terms of an increase in IOP. We're starting to see a bit of a signal in some of our high dose patients. Given the fact that the efficacy is similar, our belief is that in the phase 3 we'll move forward with the low dose. We have commercial traction with this product. We have a licensing agreement with TEA for Europe and North America, an attractive financial deal, and they are funding the phase 3 CMC and clinical. We have a term sheet for China and active discussions for licensing in other territories. While this is a retina meeting, I wanted to just give you a minute or two on our glaucoma program. So again, it's a latanoprost prodrug intracameral implant designed to treat open-angle glaucoma and ocular hypertension with predictable 6 to 12-month release. And because our device, or our drug, shrinks over time, we don't think we'll have the same issues with repeat dosing that is restricted Durysta to a single application. If you look at the PD data, this is comparing IOP reduction to Durysta at 90 days, and you can see ours is out to 128 and 138 days with the low and high dose. And the pupillometry, I think, is even more interesting. With the Durysta data, the drug is actually gone at 90 days, whereas ours continues to perform. We've made a lot of progress over the last couple of years. The most recent is the PIND meeting we had a couple of weeks ago, and as I mentioned, we have that 505(b)(2) path, which is exciting. A quick shout out to our advisors, both on retina and ophthalmology and glaucoma. We appreciate your ongoing support and advice. And we are in the midst of a Series B raise. We're trying to close that in 2022. The main focus is to fund our glaucoma program through the phase 1, phase 2 clinical. Myself and Dr. Wendy Neymark, who's our CTO, are here today and look forward to speaking with investors potentially interested in a Series B or companies interested in how our technology might work with their APIs. Thank you very much.